Well, hello and welcome to this, a bonus video or bonus Chub Club video for part one of our autumn cleanup, which is all about pure potentiality. So, from the other video and some of the PDF files you should have received, we've got this idea that pure potentiality means that anything's possible. So what does that mean for a Chub Club, for a physical point of view? Well, check it out. Cast your mind back, if you can, to maybe the first time you went to the gym, or the first time you went and did an exercise class, or maybe if you play a sport, the first time you turned up to play that sport. Now, if it was when you were a child, that's a long time ago, crikey, that could be difficult. But if it's a bit more recent as an adult, you can probably grasp a little bit easier that when you walked in, how everybody looked like a bunch of finely tuned athletes. How when you went to that kickboxing class, some of the black belts were really good. How when you went to that badminton session, that some of the people that play in the team, they were flying around the badminton court like no one's business. Okay, so just cast your mind into that. Now, each one of those individuals, each one of those people had to start off somewhere. They had to start off as somebody who had no skill, who had no ability, who had no innate talent, but we all have that potential. Quite a famous sports coach in America, Bob Harper, said, "When I see a body, I see an athlete." And that's the truth of it, okay? So, in the same idea that we've been talking about anything that's possible, from a very much a physical point of view, is possible. I know of 60-year-old plus people that can do cartwheels. They couldn't always do them, but they got that confidence and that belief and have that drive to be able to do it. So pure potentiality, anything's possible. So from a physical point of view, anything too is possible. Of course, there's going to be limitations and restrictions, but that's often what we put in our own mind. I can't possibly do a cartwheel. I can't possibly do a forward roll. I can't possibly lift that much weight. Blah, 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 whatever it is. If that's your thought, that's going to be your perception. So if you want to change your perception, change your thinking. And remember that you have got the potential to be an athlete and to have an athletic body. Okay, so how can we apply that in real terms? Well, when we get into I'm going to use a class environment, a group fitness class environment, you kind of switch off from the outside world and you focus on what you're doing. Your mind is on what you're doing. So really, exercise is a great way of being mindful. So mindfulness is about putting your mind on what you're doing, living in the moment. And it's exactly the same thing with pure potentiality, is we're trying to grasp the moment. And the best way to do that is to do something physical, because our mind has to be on what we're doing. So if you're playing a sport, let's say you're playing a game of squash, you are mindful of where that little ball is flying around. If you're in a group class environment and you're lifting weights, you're mindful of what you're doing. So pure potentiality is a great way, or a great stepping stone to get your mindset into a mindful existence. And like we've identified in the previous video, we were talking about how when you're in that moment, in that gap, that's when your creativeness comes up. So I'm going to use an example. In my kids kickboxing class, we do loads of shadow boxing. So shadow boxing, if you've never come across it before, is basically when you make it up. And kids are great at this because all of a sudden, little James turns from 8-year-old James into some kind of ninja warrior. And as a result, he's able to visualize a bunch of enemies around him, and then he's able to perform a bunch of really cool, really authentic kickboxing moves in a fluid way. And in the same way, what he's done then is he's kind of not thought about it and let the creativity bubble through. So I'm not saying we've got to start shadow boxing, but it is a great way to do it. If we can start being mindful on what we're doing and getting into the moment. So if we're doing a bicep curl, really thinking about the bicep curl, not about what's happening over there, then we start to really put our mind and our body together, and we really reap the benefits of that. So pure potentiality for us in CHUB Club is about knowing, believing and receiving the idea that we have got the best body, or the best potential body that we could have. So get involved. Anyway, take it easy. Bye.